Jacob is with us in Idaho. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I have a question. I got a auto loan through, we'll say, Credit Union A for $13,000. We got a lower interest rate from Credit Union B. Once Credit Union B sent the check into the first credit union, I went and closed the account. They reopened the account and made a deposit, and they sent a letter to our home saying that it was for gap insurance. So my wife went in, closed the account, withdrew the money. They just called us and said that that deposit was made in error, and so we have to pay it back, or they're going to send us to collections if we don't start paying it back to them. I know that morally I have, because of my relationship with the Lord, I have a moral obligation to pay it back, but I asked her why they reopened the account in the first place. Is that common practice as far as your understanding? Because we didn't find anything that says they can reopen it. And then I asked for a policy, if they can email me or send me a policy that states that they could, and she didn't know, and she said she's been working there for 18 years. So I'm not sure where that stands legally, if they have the right to do that. So I'm just it's kind of frustrating because it caught us off guard. I barely started listening to the podcast of the Dave Ramsey Show, and this thing caught me off guard. So I'm not sure.
You had gap insurance. Why are you not due a refund for the gap insurance?
They sent the letters to my wife, and my financial understanding is very limited. I get scared of when my wife starts to talk about money and all that. But
okay, then I think the two of you should take a minute. How much money's involved here?
It's what we owe. What they deposited is like $682.
Okay, so it's worth the trouble to A, understand what happened here, and B, argue about it. Okay, so can they reopen the account? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. They probably can. Probably the original account allowed them to do that. And by the way, very few people gripe about someone opening an account and giving them money, which is what happened here, except that now they want it back, right? So thing one is, I want to understand, you and your wife need to understand, and go sit down with the manager at the credit union. You can be calm and just go, help me understand. You have a obligation to show me what happened here. Do you know what gap insurance is, Jacob?
No.
Okay, gap insurance is insurance on the car that pays the difference in the value of the car and the loan, because typically you owe more on the car than it's worth. And so you said it was a $13,000 loan. Let's say the car was worth, just as an example, $10,000, but you had a $13,000 loan. Your car insurance would only pay $10,000 because the car is only worth $10,000 if it got totaled. Gap insurance would pay the other $3,000. And lenders generally require that you take gap insurance to protect them if you're upside down, if you owe more on the car than it's worth. It covers the difference. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it covers that gap, the gap between what you owe and what the car is worth. Now, what happened was you closed out your gap insurance early. You had bought a policy for the life of the loan, but the loan ended early because you refinanced, and so you were due a refund on your gap insurance. What I don't understand is where the rest of the money went. Because if it wasn't $688 as a refund on the gap insurance, what was it? Where's my refund for my gap insurance?
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't $688. Maybe it was, less than that or whatever. I don't know what they gave you. I want to know how they calculated the $688 and where they made this mistake. Now, if you prepaid the gap insurance for the entire policy, you would be due a refund. If you were paying it monthly, you would not be due a refund. And you don't know, so you're going to have to go in there and learn why it is that you aren't due this refund. I'm kind of thinking you might be. I don't know, right? They need to explain to you where your gap insurance refund went, since they don't want you to keep it.
Yeah.
Once you understand that, then you can work out some kind of a program with them to repay it, because as you said, morally, and for that matter, legally, if they gave you money you weren't due, you're going to have to give it back. But I need to understand how this mistake was made and what the mistake is based on, and where did my gap insurance refund go, since you're saying I don't get to keep it. You follow me here?
Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
it's going to be a very calm conversation. We're not cussing at people or yelling at people or something like that. You're just sitting down with the branch manager going, dude, you want $688? You got to explain the paper trail to me and my wife to where we both understand it. And then, once we understand it, if it's the same conclusion, then we will work out a deal. As a matter of fact, since they screwed this up, they ought to eat some of it, morally.
Yeah.
But they probably won't. They're a credit union. So,
Yeah.
try and go understand. If you actually owe the $688, how much of it can you pay? I mean, can you pay $300 a month for a couple months and be done with it?
No, we can probably pay $100.
$100?
We're not doing so well financially.
Where did that money go when you got it?
We were stupid with money, and so we probably spent it going out to eat or buying stuff that.
How long ago was this?
That holds no value. This was back in November.
Okay.
And they barely reached out to us a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Well, you understand the program then. You and your wife are going to sit down in person with the branch manager, and they need to explain all of this to you to where you grasp it. Once you grasp it, then you will know how to put together a payment plan and give them their money back. And in the meantime, this also outlines for you how important it is that you guys get your financial stuff moving, because $600 should not be a crisis for you. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you guys on some kind of a program? Are you starting to work our stuff?
No, I've just been listening to your podcast, and I heard you say something. It was you have to get honest with the man in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I had to repent to the Lord for being a bad steward, and I just started thinking about my kids and their future, and so I want to get it in order. So
good.
That's where we're at right now.
Okay. Well, I'll send you a copy of our book, The Total Money Makeover, which has helped millions of people become good stewards. Start to manage God's money God's way for God's glory. And we'll show you not only how to get on a budget, get out of debt, and download the Every Dollar app. It's free. It'll help you get things going too. Hold on. Kelly will pick up, and we'll get you signed up for that.